Yeah. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. I'm a lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. 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 Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. Thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. This the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. This the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the fam, man. Big ups to y'all. Appreciate y'all for being on the live, man. We up in this thing, Big Q, man. Sorry about today, man. I had something to take care of today. Couldn't call the play-by-play, but it for whatever reason, it don't matter anyway. In this one, as the Saints go down 24-10, no offensive touchdowns were scored in this game. Once again, the Saints have an invisible Loch Ness monster that lives under the end zone that scares them away. It also saps them of the ability to be able to make plays offensively, consistently, especially in the red zone. The Saints can't find their home in the red zone. Their zone is not the red zone. It's not their home. It's somebody else's home. Big ups to you guys. Please hit the like button. Not for the fact that Saints lost. It's just one of those situations where you just kind of temper your expectations on what you're going to get from this team. They played well 2 weeks ago, but you got to maintain that, so a lot of work to do with this team, a lot of work, and don't like to lose to the Falcons, especially in the Dome. That's a big no-no. Don't like to lose to the Falcons in the Dome, but respect to the Falcons, man. The Falcons on the 5-game losing streak. Their coach was on the Reds. He was on the hot seat, and they came in there and then got a W against the Saints in there. So a lot to kind of deal with. So big ups to y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. I see all y'all out there, man. Much love to y'all, man. We'll go into we'll have the post-game press conference from Kellen Moore and Tyler Shough will pop up there. But that's not looking good today in terms of what happened with the Saints, fam. So anyway, big ups to y'all. Let's kind of hit these stats up right, man. Let's get right into it. We kind of break into it and talk about it in this game. And, man, listen, Saints 21 first downs in the game. They were 5 of 16 on third down. The Falcons were 3 of 12. The Saints were also 2 of 5 on fourth down. 1 for 1 were the Falcons. Saints had 78 total plays in this game. 55 total plays by the Falcons. Falcons did just a little bit. They weren't perfect by any estimation, but they did more than enough to win the game. 302 yards versus Saints 293. The drives 12-10 advantage the Falcons. They averaged 5.5 yards per play. Saints just under 4. The passing, you can see the Saints did beat them in the passing game in terms of individual quarterbacks, throwing at 214 versus 181. The rushing attack, the Falcons got into their bag and started to run the ball with Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. 121 yards on 29 attempts, over 4 yards per carry. The Saints 79 yards rushing on 28 attempts. Of course, Alvin Kamara got a bit funny. He kind of left the game. The Saints basically tried to run the ball with Taysom Hill and Devin Neal. They averaged under 3 yards. They were 0-3 in the red zone. The negative stat of the night is the Saints, the Loch Ness Monster, the abominable snowman, Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster, whatever you got, whatever ugly, hideous monstrosity that you can conjure up, put it in the red zone, in the end zone, and that's what the Saints are running from. 0 for 3 in the red zone, which is just ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. The penalties, they actually kept the penalties down. The Falcons had 9 of them for 82 yards. The Saints turned the ball over twice in this game, right? A fumble and an interception. And of course, we know how that went. 2 turnovers there. The Saints did get a defensive touchdown. That's why it wasn't a complete blowout, like a 24-3 game, right? Because Justin Reed, shout out to Justin Reed with the positive interception. He was at the place with the right time, and he was able to return that thing all the way back for a touchdown to help get on the board. Without Justin Reed's pick, the Saints were going. This should have been it would have been a blowout. We ain't gonna talk about Blake Groupie missing field goals and all this kind of stuff, but the offense, right, was more offensive. And I don't mean that in a good way about what they did in this game. They did not show up at all in this game. They didn't show up at all. These people had 2 weeks of practice, and this is what they turned out against the Falcons in one of the most deadliest rivalries in professional sports. And this is what they turned out with. 32-51 on time of possession versus 27-09. For the Falcons. And like I said, anytime, it doesn't matter. Anytime, the records do not matter. Anytime you play the Falcons, it is never easy and never good for you as the Saints to lose to the Falcons in your own building. I don't care what the records are. That is a no-no. And that'll turn the Who Dat Nation on you faster than anything, but to lose to the Falcons in the way the Saints did in the Dome today. So it's just one of these things that we keep looking at over and over again. And we're saying, hey, man, is there hope for the Saints to turn this around? I can't tell you that because they're radically inconsistent. And I will not tell you to then put your faith in a team which is not showing any level of consistency whatsoever. This is where we are. Christian says, watch Low Ben is non-rapping on beat himself. All right. Thank you, Christian Shough, whatever that means, bro. We got it, man. All right. Says blame sorry trifling offense. They can't even score with a penny worth. Okay. They can't score with a penny worth. You know what? Good damn. We need endless music for every possession. Endless music. What is that, my brother? What is that, Christian? What is endless music? You mean the clown music? Is that what we doing? All right. Thanks for the laughs. All right. Big Belly says it was my old lady birthday today. Well, shout out to her, man. Let's get a round of applause for her. I spent my time doing better things. Not surprised we lost in such fashion, but shout out to you, Belly. And happy birthday to your wife, man, or your girlfriend. All right. All right. Shout out to you, my brother. Appreciate y'all on the super chat tip, man. Much love for you guys. All right, let's get to the individuals, man, right? Tyler Shough today was 30 of 43 for 243, average just under 6 yards per throw, had a pick, and he was sacked 5 times, man. He was sacked 5 times. And we're going to look at the tape, but I remember seeing several plays from Cesar Ruiz where guys were able to beat him. They're pretty much, fam, they're basically targeting Cesar Ruiz. They realize and know that he's the weak link on this offensive line. And we got backups on there. And Cesar Ruiz is a starter, and he is the weak link. They target Cesar Ruiz, fam. They target him. 74.1 is the rating there. Taysom Hill, I don't know why he was trying to be a quarterback in terms of throwing it. 0 for 2 in the disastrous play, which he kept switching it out. And this is Kellen Moore's fault. Taysom Hill is not a quarterback. Do not use him as a quarterback. Use him as a running back. Use him as a wide receiver. Use him as a tight end. But by all means, you could use him and Tyler Shough together in the offense. You really could. I've seen it before. You could. His skill set is comparable to that type of usage. You can use him. He's very versatile, but Tyler Shough needs to stay in the game. He has a degree of athleticism. He's a big guy that can lower his shoulder. You need to keep him in the game to get the reps. And by all means, you're not supposed to pull him off there to put Taysom Hill as a quarterback. And everybody knows he's getting the ball. We can use Taysom in different ways to spurt the offense, but we don't need Tyler Shough coming off there for Taysom Hill. Please stop that. And as I watched it, I was like, this guy doesn't know how to use these players. And it's really frustrating because you've seen how they were used properly and the guy just struggling to kind of figure that out. But Shough was the top rusher today. He scrambled 7 times for 22 yards. Devin Neal had 7 for 18. Taysom had 10 for 17. Less than 2 yards a carry. Saints couldn't muster much of anything, right? Alvin Kamara, 3 for 11 for less than 4 yards, and he did not finish the rest of the game. And we'll have a note on Alvin, but Alvin been dealing with an ankle all damn, but for the last several weeks, he's been dealing with issues with that ankle. I think he might have frustrated something else as well. Chris Olave, 9 catches for 70 yards over 13 targets. As it builds his individual statistics, Juwan Johnson actually had a pretty decent game. 6 catches, 7 targets, 46 yards. We just did not do what we needed to do in the red zone to do anything. 5 catches, 43 for Neal. Devon Bailey had 3 for 37, averaging 12.3 yards, which is, that's encouraging. Mason Tipton, 3 for 22 for 7. Pettis, 1 for 14. Not much shaking. They were spreading the ball around, but not much impact. Not much impact at all. Right. And you can see the fumbles, Tyler Shough right there with the fumble that he lost, and Taysom Hill with 1. And, and it was a couple of things. Demario Davis led the day with 11 tackles. Sanker and Justin Reed had 7 on the play. The Saints did have, 3 sacks today. Isaiah Stallbird, Chase Young, and Cam Jordan also got sacks in the game. And the pick by Justin Reed that he took 49 yards back for a score. And pretty much that's it. Blake Grupe was horrible in this game. He was 1 of 3. He missed a chip shot of 20-something yards, then missed a longer shot in the game. And what's really interesting about him missing these field goals is the fact that this is a controlled environment. This is a controlled environment. There is no wind blowing. There's no nothing. This is your home building in a controlled environment. And that's all. These missed field goals are definitely, it's all mental. There is no reason why he should have missed field goals in this game. But nonetheless, it wouldn't have really helped you anyway, right? It would have been 24-16, because the offense did not perform. They did not give you any touchdowns today. That is, you can't win any. If your adversaries are scoring touchdowns, you need to score some touchdowns too. Saints didn't give any offensive touchdowns at all. A defensive touchdown. The defense gave them a defensive touchdown. The offense was 1 of 3 kicking field goals. And even if he hadn't made everything, we still needed the contribution of the offense. I just don't understand. 2 weeks these people work, 2 weeks practicing, they sitting up to these press conferences and talking, and this is what they come out and do. I don't get it. These are professionals. I'm looking for not for perfection. I'm looking for consistency. I'm looking for smart effort. I just don't see it. I really don't. KT says with the number 3 overall pick. This is true. Thank you, KT. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
They got the pick.
Very much. Picking me up.
They got the pick.
Pick.
KTL says Shough couldn't beat out Anthony Brown at Oregon. He's trash. We made a mistake and reached for a great value. Bo Nix. Bo Nix is good though.
Thank you very much. Picking me up. Bringing me back to this world.
Hold on, KT. Bo Nix is good, bro. Bo Nix is good. Hold on, now. You can't call him Bo Nix, bro. Bo Nix wasn't hurt. Bo Nix was playing. He might have played for he played for 3 or 4 universities, but he did not. But you can't call him Bo Nix a great. He said he's a great guy, but that's not a good comparison because Tyler Shough was in college for 7 years. He played 2 of the 7, 2 or 3 of the 7. I mean, Bo Nix played the majority of all those years. So that's how he was able to develop his game and be really ready for the NFL. That is the path. Like most of the time it's 3 or 4 years. You had a guy that was there for 7 years. And 7 years in college. And that makes you, and I would have to say, if you have a quarterback who was a starter and he stayed in college for 5 years or more, and he jumps to the NFL, and he had a high volume quarterback that was playing, man, listen, that can only serve him to develop him further, especially if he's playing in the pro style offense and he's playing against teams that exhibit pro style concepts. I would damn sure that would definitely help him out. But shout out to you, KT. It's more than just Shough, man. It's more than Shough. Kellen Moore's play calling. And usually you got to put it on the head coach, man. When stuff like this happen, man, you got to put it on the head coach, man. When you were 0-3 in the red zone and the play calls these guys were making, I just don't get the play with Taysom where you put Taysom in this game. You need 1 yard. Taysom is 5 yards behind. I just don't get that. Why not put him under center where the defense can't prepare right away, where he hikes the ball and it sets up a scenario where it's a problem, like when he hiked it over his head. I was like, I had a bad feeling about that when that happened. I was like, man, and then he hiked it over his head. He ended up throwing the ball, and they call it intentional grounding. You know, it's like, you know, what are we doing here? But nonetheless, man, it's just what it is. All right, what's up, Ben on Ben? Ben on Beast says I got a lot of love for you, Q, but Shough not lowering his shoulder. We seen that on the goal line against the DB. I think he caught him from a weird angle, bro. But when the DB caught him, I think he caught him from a weird angle, though, bro. But he should have pushed over that cornerback, though, bro. You're absolutely right. All right, here go, what's his face?
Ultimately execute better than us today. And so frustrating game. All three phases kind of had different opportunities that obviously we missed. And, you know, it's going to be a big opportunity for us to respond the right way and, you know, stick together and keep battling.
Ruby up at 8 misses now. Do you still have faith in him as a starting kicker going forward?
Yeah, it's a frustrating one. Obviously, you know, I think the biggest and most important thing is we got to go through this full process to, you know, understand how this happened today. You know, he missed a couple, and it's unfortunate because there's been a lot of good, but we'll have to evaluate that and, you know, just get a better feel for, you know, how that process went down today.
What's the precedent that you'd rather set in that situation in terms of whether it be patience or at least or, you know, trying somebody else out and sending the message that there's
Yeah, we'll just evaluate that as we go. Obviously, it's an important thing. We'll have to evaluate first. Really dig into what happened today, as far as, you know, let's communicate at a high level. Let's go through that process, understand how the outcomes occurred, and then you know, we'll obviously evaluate, and there'll be another day to continue to discuss that.
Because you all been looking at the future at some position, wide receiver, quarterback. Could Charlie Smith be part of that evaluation to get a look at him? What to do?
Charlie's certainly in the developmental role. You know, he's done a lot of good as he's gone through this process for a couple of years now in the developmental role, and so again, it's something we'll just have to spend some time and invest some time, and say he's not going to be the answer to all that, and yeah, I think it's a process that we have to go through.
you guys are looking to like develop new base moves for that. Like, what's the advantage of going away from Tyler from the red zone and going with this?
Yeah, just some of the run game stuff. Felt like it. You know, it's a numbers game down there, and you gain a number with Taysom, and you know, red zone's on me. We're not getting it done. So it's as simple as that. We're not scoring touchdowns down there. 0 for 3 today, had a huge impact today, and so you know, we got to find a way to get it done.
When it comes to like Tyler getting those reps, is there any like future talk though, like investing in that maybe, and like would it be better to go with him than with Taysom in that area?
I think always the goal is still to win the football game, and there's plenty of opportunities that obviously Tyler goes through that are hard situations and challenging situations, and there's just plenty of stuff in there that red zone wise, it felt like there would be some good opportunities. Felt like the run game in the +1 situation, there was a lot of evidence to support it would be a positive manner. It didn't come out to our outcome, and so you know, certainly there's more opportunities that we'll have to evaluate Tyler. There's plenty of games that we're going to get to evaluate him in those situations, and that'll be an important part of this process. Yeah, it's just a play action, and obviously they got too close, and you know, there was a collision there, and so it was a play action play. We're just going play action pass, and you know, I didn't get a perfect clean look at it. I was watching the routes as it went, and so I saw a little bit of the footage, but I'll have to look more into it.
The incomplete pass on 4-1 with Taysom.
Yeah.
Utilizing him in the red zone.
Yeah.
The run game, but having him throw as opposed to Tyler, like who goes that?
Yeah, run a lot of direct runs to Taysom at the quarterback position. Felt like there was a play opportunity there, and ultimately that's on me. Didn't work. So.
How did you just feel like this was a game with so many missed opportunities?
Yeah, there's missed opportunities. Credit to those guys. They made the opportunities. They created, you know, enough explosive plays in the game. They made the stops in the red zone. You know, we had our opportunities like a lot of games, and you know, it's just a matter of those small little margins we got to take advantage of them.
How would you describe this as a play caller in this game? Is it frustrating during the course of the game, or do you still feel like you got a bunch of things working? How would you describe, I guess, self-evaluation, the job you did as a play caller?
Yeah, not good enough. Obviously, we didn't get done on offense. You it's choppy. We weren't able to create the flow that, we had the previous, week against Carolina. And so frustrating. I haven't done a good enough job with this group, and we got to find a way.
A lot of the play calls happen in a short pass situation. Is that because of the Atlanta's pass rush?
Certainly their pass rush has been really productive. They've been a very productive pass rush team. I thought, there were some opportunities to get the ball out of our hands. Obviously, as the game progressed, we got into some challenging situations, and they were able to rush the passer in some gnome rushes, and that was a challenge for us.
How would you evaluate Tyler just on first look?
Yeah, I thought he battled. I thought he, gave us some positive things in there. It wasn't an easy situation in some of those as the game progressed, and we got into the multi-score game. I thought he battled, and certainly I think if you take the emotions out of it and you go watch the film probably tonight and tomorrow, you'll certainly see some positives.
What?
Yeah. We'll have to let that go through its process. Obviously, wasn't able to return. We'll have to get the full evaluation tomorrow and get a feel for that and see what this outline looks like.
As you say, you've had Charlie Smith in the building for 2 years now, so you know what he can do in every situation except for a live game day during the regular season. As a 2-9 team, do you lose anything? Do you got anything to lose by elevating to the active roster?
Well, I think it's something that's definitely part of the evaluation process. He's been here for 2 years, and he's developed a ton. And he's had preseason game opportunities, and he's done a nice job there. And so, he's in a developmental role, and we just have to continue to evaluate that each and every week. And we've had a lot of guys that have had opportunities to step up, and we'll see how all this stuff progresses. Yeah, I thought Devin, there's probably going to be some positives coming out of that film. I thought he made a couple plays in space and got some extra yards, which was a positive. I think for the most part, the protection stuff, he did some nice things in there. And so, he stepped up, and we'll see how his opportunities progress moving forward.
On the fourth and the goal line before the intentional grounding, what would be the advantages or thought process of being in shotgun and that play so close to the goal line?
Yeah, just get Taysom, and then essentially have 10 blockers and Taysom, and so that was the goal. A play we ran earlier in the game and got a first down, and so obviously, unfortunately, the snap wasn't successful.
Were you impressed with the atmosphere today, considering the struggles this year and everything? Pretty back.
Yeah, I thought it was a great atmosphere. I thought our guys, there's a couple of big time opportunities. I felt like the crowd helped. Some third downs. They were in field goal range and got a false start and a couple procedure penalties in this thing. And so, we appreciate all that. That makes this place special. And we know we got some work to do. And we got to keep grinding and keep getting better. And there'll be better days certainly. And I think that we all have that sight that we'll get better each week, and we'll keep finding these opportunities. Yeah, just frustration, just because you recognize the opportunities that are out there, and we just haven't gotten it done.
I think you haven't seen the film yet. Maybe talk about just first blush. It seemed like Caesar had some issues today with some of the looks they threw at him.
Also, again, I think those ones are always really important to see the film. Up front, obviously, we got in some passing situations, and they really get some pass rush. And so, obviously, challenging situations, but we got to find something that works for us a little bit better, and find a solution to get the ball moving in some of those situations. And in the run game, we got to find some more consistency in the run game where we can get some things moving and create more flow.
Hey, Coach, without Shough and Cooks, what did you see from Mason Tipton? Obviously, had that big return early in the game, and then how he had 30 catches. What did you see from him?
Yeah, we like Mason a lot. He's done some positive things through training camps and through preseason football. He's played a somewhat limited role in the regular season. I thought he made some plays in this game. He'll continue to play a valuable role.
The self-scouting opportunity over the course of the bye week, did you find that what happened today was about adjustments not being fully, not being able to fully implement the adjustments that you wanted, or was it just a lack of effectiveness?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we just didn't get it done. We can look at it from a lot of different angles. Schematically, I'm going to spend a lot of time saying, are we putting ourselves in the best position to be successful? Players are trying to find every margin that they can improve on. And so, that's the goal of this thing. Obviously, every opportunity you have, whether it be a self-scout or a game film, you're going to evaluate it. There's going to be things that come out of it positively and negatively. And you just got to keep growing. And so, obviously, we missed this opportunity. Good. All right. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, it ain't all smiles right now, especially when you lose to the Falcons. It stinks. Well, here's Taysom Hill. Let's see what he got to say.
Good.
The
Yeah, I mean, we had obviously a couple different things that we were doing, and we got a certain look, so I killed the play, and then, it's a little bit challenging. I haven't seen the film and whatever, but I wish I could have that one back and secure the snap and get in the end zone there. But it's hard to really comment on it right now, having not seen it and everything else. But yeah, that was a disappointing play. Look, at the end of the day, it was a disappointing game. We had plenty of opportunities as a team, as an offense, to put us in a great situation to win that game, and we didn't capitalize on that. So that's a hard thing to swallow at this point. I think that there are some good things to build on. Obviously, it's nice that we're down in the red zone and putting ourselves in situations to go score, and we got to find ways to finish.
Jason, talk about the fourth down play. Was that a design pass, or was that something you decided that?
I did not decide to just throw that on my own. Yeah, it was a design pass play. I mean, look, there's no secret, right? When I'm at quarterback, we run the ball a lot, and we've done different things throughout the course of my career, and we were counting on a heavy box, and look, they made a good play, and we were trying to sneak Bailey out to the corner, and they made a good play.
You talked about some of the frustration with the red zone in particular. What was it that sort of created troubles there?
I mean, again, it's a little bit challenging right now. You get into the game, and it's hard to give you a really good answer, frankly, having not seen the tape. But I'm trying to think through the drives. I think we had plenty of opportunities, right? And it's not like they were negative plays. We had the one negative play that turned into intentional grounding, but certainly you'd like to feel like we can score from the 1 yard line, and it's a tough yard to gain down there. But I mean, it's hard to give you a great answer. I think maybe I think we could all play with lower pad level. We were obviously trying to, we ran a sneak down there, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's really the first thing that comes to mind. We had some missed opportunities on the.
Is it more frustrating in a game like this when you have, to walk away from a game like this when you have that many shots?
Yeah. Look, nobody feels good about this game. The first 24 hours are hard. Right now is a little bit hard because we had plenty of opportunities to get that done, and we didn't do that. So, I'm not trying to all of a sudden feel great about this, but I think when you take a step back, there are some great things that we did and are encouraging. But
what? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Look, Atlanta's a good team, and those guys, get paid too, and they did a good job, and we knew that about them. They were an aggressive front, penetrating front, and they rely on some negative plays that way, and are aggressive in their scheme up front. But yeah, this was a hard one to swallow.
Jason, do you see the type of season that it has been? Been in games, opportunities, but the team just continues to fight. It just comes up short.
Yeah, sorry. What was the question?
Do you feel like the season, it's kind of like been that way? I mean, you've been in so many games.
Yeah. I mean, it's again, nobody feels good about our record right now, but it's it's one of those things as a competitor and as a player, you can't let circumstances dictate how you prepare, the effort that you put into it, the film that you put out there, and as you have conversations in the locker room, right? That's really the conversation, because at the end of the day, nobody cares what your record is, right? When you put film on, that stuff that's out there forever. And I think the leadership, the locker room has been really good about managing that. And
Stop the cap.
guys are in it, and guys are competing. And man, I love that locker room and really appreciate what everyone's doing in there.
When Alvin goes out, like he did, does that put more on you than like a running back, or is your goal?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There was a lot of things that I ended up doing today that I had zero time on task doing, and it's the nature of the NFL and the numbers game that you end up playing. But yeah, when he went down, I spent a little extra time with the running backs coach trying to figure
These
out
people losers, man.
some things schematically and find ways to help Dev out there too.
How do you think Tyler's coming along in terms of what he's learning and doing in his first year?
How do I think about?
Just being in the huddle.
Yeah. I think Tyler's done a really nice job. I think Tyler's in it. You feel his presence. You feel confidence with him in the huddle, and he knows what's going on.
These people defeated,
put the
man.
time and energy
They defeated.
to learn the system and understand the intricacies of what's
Ain't no
going on,
fighting
realize
and they
you feel that from him. And he's got a really
defeated loser
positive,
players, man.
Great presence, in the huddle and at the line of scrimmage. And I think that's something that, as a fan base, as media, if you watch him play, you can feel that. But, as a teammate and in the locker room with him, you feel that as well. And I think he's made some really, nice plays over the course of the 3 games that he's been playing. And, we have conversations, and the nature of that position is, it's challenging. But as you look at an NFL game, so often the game boils down to a few plays. And
what is he
Tyler
talking
has
about?
done a nice job of making, these 50-50 plays. And
what is he talking about, y'all?
I really appreciate the time that he's put into it. And
what's going on here? What is he talking about? What's going on here? What is this man talking about?
No.
Not as you personally, yes, obviously
Yeah.
not but when you got back on the field.
What is he talking about?
Sure.
I like Taysom, but what the hell is Taysom? What is he talking about, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, I mean, I think
What's
as,
going on
as
right
things
now?
relate to me, this season and this year, it was kind of like a perfect storm with a new coaching staff, a new scheme, a new offense, and I was out. So the first opportunity that I had to be coached by, this staff and for this staff to see me was week 5. My first practice with them was on a Wednesday, and we practiced and pads on Wednesday.
Taysom, we lost, bro. What are you talking about?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
We lost, bro.
We played in the first game, So I think that it was one of those things that I became so hyper focused on how can I, expedite, my rehab as quickly as I can. And I think the rest of it was, I didn't really have a lot of expectations, certainly I had conversations with Kellen and what that was going to look like as I was preparing to come back. But, we're still in a process of learning together and, what my role will be.
You're 2-9
week to week in this offense. So
you're 2-9, sir.
I don't know that I had any real expectation.
Expect to be
focused on
2-10.
getting healthy and being available.
Expect a daily game check after every game.
I was just curious, those types of injuries, does it get, sometimes they say like it takes more than certain months, certain amount of years to be the player they were before.
Ma'am, what's wrong with these reporter questions? What is going on here?
Getting better as the season goes
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, no, it's a really fair question, and the reality is, coming out of surgery, it was kind of like, hey, I think you'll be ready to play November, December, and I think it's one of those things that you don't realize how bad you felt maybe a month ago, and I think it's one of those things that I'll continue to feel better, throughout the season. And as you mentioned, I'm coming up on had surgery December 17th. And, through all my conversations with other people that have gone through this with surgeons, it's, man, you're going to continue to feel better throughout the rest of this season. But I feel personally, I feel confident in my knee. I feel confident in fulfilling, the responsibilities that I'm asked on the field. So I don't feel like I'm lacking, as a result of this injury. But I also don't know how I'm going to feel in a month too,
What are we talking about here? What is going on?
Sure.
What the hell is going on right now?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's obviously things that I've done throughout my career that I'm familiar with, and so it's finding the balance of saying, hey, these are things that I've done in the past, and it fits our game plan already, and there's obviously things that we had game planned for that we didn't need to have any additional conversations about. But there was a few plays that I ran today that I had 0 reps at doing, but it was quick conversation, and look, I think you play enough football and you can scheme.
Why is Taysom up here anyway?
But especially as a runner, you rely so much on instincts, and that's really what happened tonight.
What is going on? What is going on here? Why is he here?
Anything else? All right, guys.
Oh my God! What was that? That is absolutely crazy. What just happened? Taysom Hill got up there and literally said nothing. Oh my goodness, that was crazy, man. That was crazy.
Cool. What's up, guys?
Yeah, I know the result today obviously wasn't a show, but what did it mean to you to get into the end zone here with this team?
Yeah, I mean, it felt good. It was a result of my teammates, though. It was a result of Coach Staley making a great play call.
Oh, no,
my
not
teammates
this
doing
guy.
their job. Kool-Aid helping get the pop up. Got a couple help from teammates on some blocks there to help get me to the end zone. So just a great defensive snap all the way around, and it was really cool. Special moment for me. It's just it takes me back, man. It takes me back to my younger days when it's like got to play both sides of the ball and everything. But yeah, it felt like an opportunity to do it, cut back on it, find a way to get into the end zone.
Bro, we lost.
Good momentum.
We lost, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Cousins obviously 14th-year player now, second start of the year for him. What were your impressions of how he played today?
Yeah, you know what? First of all, credit to them. They played a tough game and they came out on top. The most important thing is obviously the W or the L, and they were finding a way to get the win. I think in a lot of ways, though, it's just like we let it slip through our fingers. I think we were so aggressive defensively in the first half that, I loved it. And they went to some screens and screen and goes. And that's what you're going to get in this league. If your defense is flying around, everybody's got energy. What offenses are going to do is they're going to go to screen plays and screen and go plays. They're able to get that one to Pitts early on. They're able to come back to another one to Bijan. I think if you take the screen and goes off the field, I think that we were just extremely dominant defensively, but they were able to create some explosive with that and get some momentum from it. And I think that's just something that we're going to have to be aware of. I don't want us to lose our energy or our edge. I want us to continue to be a ferocious defense flying around like that, but we just got to be aware that teams are going to go to screen and goes on us if we're flying around that quickly.
So I seem like 4th and 24. What did happen on that play? From the second?
Yeah, 2nd and 24. Yeah, screen to Bijan. I mean, he's such a talented back. He found a way to squirm through the line, find an edge, and he found a lane and he took it. And he was rolling. Yeah, that's such an advantageous position for the defense to be 2nd and 24. We got to take advantage of that.
Bro, why you so happy, bro?
Your first impression on everything that happened today, of course, but on the Darnell Mooney touchdown downfield, what did you see there? What happened?
Yeah, we're in a quarters concept. Kool-Aid, basically on an island there on the field side. We had a cut and climb to where the safety drove the dig and a corner climbed, and Mooney just kept it so skinny that it was tough for our the help to get there. The assist on the touchdown.
He was caught.
That's one play that we were really wanted to make sure we took care of the run because we knew they were going to do wide zone all day. But we're going to have an answer for that next week. We talked about it. We made an adjustment on the sideline. Didn't get the chance to use the adjustment, but we're just going to have to be aware of that going forward because copycat league teams are going to see the same thing. They're going to pull it back up. But we got to make sure that we don't get beat on the same play in the future.
You're 2-9, Justin. You were caught in no man's land, bro.
Yeah, the biggest thing is got to find a way to finish. I thought that the offense actually moved the ball well. They were able to get down to the 1 yard line inside of the 5. We just got to take advantage of opportunities. We just can't leave points on the board, special teams wise or offensive wise. I think they did a great job moving the ball, but you gotta find a way to get the ball into the end zone because those points matter big. And more than anything, it's just momentum. You know what I mean? You don't want to deflate the momentum when you have so many things going right.
What momentum?
Charlotte, how would you describe the mood in the locker room right now?
Felt like we let it slip away. You know what I mean? Like there's always things that you can get better at, but everything that we did that hurt us was self-inflicted. And and credit to them, they played a great game, but the biggest plays were all self-inflicted. And I think that, we take care of those things, and I don't think that the result is even close to what it was.
Self-inflicted, we've heard that a few times throughout the season. What does it take to kind of get past that? And what would you kind of, if there is anything that you can point in terms of the sort of captain's
One thing is just starting fast. You don't want to have it's honestly just a simple thing. There's no secret formula or whatever. It's just the little everyday things. Center quarterback exchange on a snap or whatever that came up twice in this game, or one of them was quarterback running back exchange. It's just those everyday drills. You just can't get bored with the things that you do all the time, and the things that you're good at, they got to show up, So, the best answer I can give you is we just got to keep going back to it and just hammering it and getting it to stick and make sure we're carrying it with us Sunday.
Is that more frustrating than it is that as opposed to they just do those?
I honestly don't know. I don't know. I mean, losing whatever way you lose, it always sucks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it sucks more one way or the other, but yeah, I don't think there's really been, Seattle game. I don't think there's really any other game though that's felt like that team was just straight up better than us. You know what I mean? But that's what the NFL is. Everybody's loaded with talent. And at the end of the day, the team that executes and the team that makes the least amount of mistakes and finds a way to finish is the team that comes out on top. So we have all the tools. We have the play calls. We have all that stuff. We just got to do it at the critical moments and put it in the end zone, or stop that last play, or not give up the big play, find a way to stop a screen. Just got to keep going.
I thought the defense played solid today. Only gave up 13 first downs. Atlanta was 3 of 12 on third downs. Obviously didn't get the win, but what were some things you saw out there that y'all could build upon down this final stretch?
I think that it was electric starting the game. I think that it was one of the things we talked about earlier in the season, right? Like I think it was like the first 3 or 4 games we talked about, slow starts or whatever, teams getting a quick 10 or 14 on us. And we made it a point of emphasis that we were going to start the games fast with a ton of energy. And I think that we've done that. And I think that that helps make a spark for the entire team. So I think we got to just continue to bring that with us, not take a step back. And like I said, I think that the worst play that can happen to us right now is a screen and goes. And that's just a fact because we're playing with so much energy and guys are going for it and playing fast. That's what teams do. The defenses that do that. So I wouldn't change anything about the way that we're playing. I just think we need to have awareness there.
I would change a lot about how you're playing, Justin. A lot, bro. You're not gonna find any answers talking like this, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is a like more than this just being our job that we're very privileged to go out there and do every day to represent the city of New Orleans.
Yeah, the millions you make, you know.
It's about your pride, man. And you know, we still got a ton of games to play. We're laying the foundation. We're not moving on to next season yet. We're still playing this season. We're going to continue to go out there and play our tails off for the city and do what we can do.
Is that what you call it? Thank you, Justin. You can go, bro. Peace out, brother. Yeah, that ain't gonna cut it, man. Yeah, that simply is not gonna cut it. You wouldn't change a thing what they're doing. I would definitely change a ton of things that they're doing in this game. All right, shout out to you guys. Appreciate you for being in. I'm pretty sure Tyler Shough is coming. And there he is.
There he is.
There he is. Here we go. We'll have Pops Q in a second. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, I think running out of the tunnel and just seeing everybody in the dome, I think it was such a cool moment. I was talking to David at Drago's. He's one of the managers, and I went to Drago's yesterday with my family, and he talked about kind of a dream that he had running out of the tunnel as a Saints quarterback, and it kind of gave me some perspective of like, I mean, a lot of people really dream about kind of that opportunity, and the opportunity we fell short, but I was kind of proud of just how we battled, and it sucks to lose, especially to the Falcons, but at least to start, you know, it was a cool moment. And I think overall, we know what we have to do to fix it. And I think that's the story of the game. And there's a lot of fixable things, especially in the red zone where we just came up short, and then we'll finish it. And then it's a different story. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was play action, and it just hit his elbow. It was just literally like a fluke deal. Sucks. Because I wasn't trying to give him it. It was just a fake. He was rolling over it, and it just hit. I think he just closed it, and but it's on me at the end of the day. I got to make sure I can hang on to that, and yeah, it just sucks. We got to be better there, and you know we had guys open, and but I was just proud of how the defense responded the whole time. I mean, they held them to a field goal in a really bad scenario, and then they were making plays the whole game. I mean, I think it wasn't good enough at the end of the day, but I think we were moving the ball really well. I think we were doing the things that we kind of needed to do to put ourselves in position, and then just, you know, 2 goal line opportunities that, you know, are tough, and a couple of field goals where we shouldn't have been in this situation. We should have been scoring in those red zone drives, and I think we felt really good about it, and we just came up short. So I think for me, just kind of continue to learn from those new scenarios, little mistakes, and kind of keep building.
It's week 12, sir. 2-9. 0-3 in the red zone today, and the worst red zone.
I mean, I think Blake makes those, you know, 9 times out of 10, and he's doing a great job throughout the week. And we got his back, he's got our back, and it's part of it. And I mean, we put him in those scenarios where we can finish those drives out, and that's really on us as an offense. But we know, you know, that's really on us because we can finish it, and it just kind of motivates us. But, you know, we'll kind of continue to get back to it and continue to stay together.
How do you kind of balance your emotions of like being a competitor, you take the team down the field, you get to the red zone, but like you don't get all the reps in the red zone and come out to the sideline? How do you balance those like two opposite things?
I'm just trying to do whatever it takes to get in the end zone. If Taysom scores on a run, I'm equally as fired up as if, you know, we hand the ball off or I run the ball in. You know, at that point we're trying to win. So whatever we think we can get the advantage wise with schematically, you know, I'm all for it. So it just sucks we weren't able to finish it. And I think kind of continually we'll just look at, you know, how we can kind of be better there as an offense. But there's nothing really special to say as far as that. And it just sucks. You know, we got to finish it.
Shuck said it sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I thought I was in whenever I like landed, and obviously I think my knee was down short, which happens. It was second down, so I knew that I wasn't going to reach. I didn't want to reach and have something bad happen. So wouldn't really change anything about that. Just fell short, and maybe if it was third or fourth down, we would have reached for the ball. And then the second one, we just kind of had a little rub. So I was getting ready to throw it, and that's kind of why it was more of a throw, RPR, and then just kind of slipped on the cut and almost got in. But yeah, that was more of a design throw in the flat, and then just try to make a miss when they switched it off. So yeah, just super close. Say again.
How difficult was it doing with Atlanta's pass rush?
I think we put ourselves in that situation when you're down, two scores at the end, where that's a scenario where defenses want to live, and they know we're going to throw the ball. And so it's tough. It's tough on any O-line. Every D-line is going to have an advantage there. So we just got to be better on first down. I think we had too many second and longs where that's, we have to kind of get back on track. And yes, we got to be better, starting out the drive.
Tyler, isn't that earlier this week, Ryan talks about how you've executed against tough defenses in the past. So just with that experience already on you, how prepared did you feel today?
I felt really prepared. I think we were moving the ball, how we thought we could, and just came up short. But I think at the end of the day, it stings, especially against them. But a lot to build off of. I was proud of the receivers, Tipton, Vele, Pettis, Kevin, all those guys stepping up. Especially with kind of some departures, and CO obviously was a huge part of that as well, and kind of what he's been able to do, and all the tight ends too. They've kind of had an increased role. So was proud of them. And it's obviously not an easy situation, but I think there's a lot to build off of, a lot of encouraging stuff, and we just kind of have to fix those little things on first down and then in the red zone. Yes. Because of the defense. Yeah. He undercut it, wasn't going to throw it. So the best play was to try and get some yards to try and score there. Yeah, it just hit his elbow. It was just kind of a fluke deal.
What's kind of like going through your mind, on the shovel pass, what's going through your mind as you're making these outside of structure plays, and especially that one, which is kind of is that just instinct? Yeah, just instinct, just trying to push it. You can't take it sacked, obviously, there when you're the time is against you. So just doing everything you can to move up, trying to find different angles and get it to the guys. So just part of it. You kind of embrace it when things are breaking down, and it seems like on these hard downs, you always find a way to make a play too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm whatever it takes. That's my mindset. I mean, I love when we can kind of stay on the ball. We can kind of get some tempo. We're throwing it whenever those odds are against us. I mean, I felt the whole time. Who knows what's going to happen? We can break a tackle. We can score here. We get it to a one-score game. So nobody's belief was shattered. That was one thing I was really encouraged by. We were all still pretty in it. It just sucks, because it's the Falcons and we came up short there. But like I said before, we'll kind of build off of it.
Did you see any commonality to the problems in the red zone? Was there anything that, right now, you can look at it about, that whatever it was, 14 snaps in the red zone?
No, I mean, it's tough when you're on the 1 yard line, and come up short. And I think like I said, we're moving it, and we just got to find a way to get that last yard. So we'll look at it. It's tough to think about it right now, but I don't think there's any commonalities with it.
Definitely some commonalities, bro. Y'all not hitting on it, bro. Y'all bad at it, man.
Much of that was kind of just introduced throughout the week, or was it something you guys had throughout?
A little bit of both. There was some new stuff that we were repping, and obviously you got some new guys in the mix.
His answers are better than the
Bailey, and
coaches.
you got Taysom switching around, so there's a lot of different personnel stuff where you got to rep, and then there was some traditional stuff as well. But I think that's very common week to week though. Just trying to attack.
Yeah, Talon said that part of the South Scout was really kind of emphasizing on the red zone a few days ago. I mean, did it feel like throughout the week that you guys felt confident? And, had all these
Yeah. Yeah, I think we felt really, really confident. I think just with that results, and then, like I said, you get down really close, you got to find a way to punch it in. You got to find a way. So, and whether that's whatever it is, I don't have an answer for that. So.
How do you think losing Alvin in the first quarter affected the
Yeah, I think obviously hugely. I mean, he's a great part of what we do as an offense, and just from running the ball, catching the ball, receiving it. I think he's obviously one of the best in the business when it comes to that. So hopefully he's okay. I haven't heard anything yet, but I think it obviously sucks. But I was really proud of Devin and what he was able to do. I mean, he was laying the boom quite a few times. He was doing his job really well. Taysom as well. He's like a Swiss Army knife, and he was thrown into some tough situations. So hopefully he'll be good, and then we'll kind of continue to go.
Did you get hurt on that last play of the game? I think you were favoring your...
Yeah, I just got landed on my leg, so it was just a bruise. I believe it just should be good. It was just kind of like I got some flashbacks where he landed on. I was like, let me put weight on it temporarily, and so it was fine. But just
all right, KK.
Like I said, you're in those scenarios. You're just trying to go down and score. It's part of it.
What kind of message have you?
Shout out to you, Tasha, and the Cowboys. Y'all got a dub today. Shout out to you.
Yeah, just a lot of the NFL and a lot of this game, it can be taken emotionally and understandably. It's a high strung game, but I think if you think about it analytically and what we could have done better or fixed, it's very simple. We score on those 2 red zone scenarios on the 1 yard line, and we find a way, then it's a different story. I think it just comes down to that. And, I don't think there needs to be anybody freaking out about it. And I think we know what we need to do and just kind of keep going. And it's part of it. And I think it just hurts a little bit more, and it should. So we'll see them again.
In the passing game, it seems like Olave and Johnson are pretty entrenched as the 1 and 2 options. Who do you kind of see stepping up as that third guy?
Mm-hmm. I think Vela and Tipton equally. I think just kind of continually just reps with them. I was really proud of Tip and what he was able to do. He made some huge plays, especially just with the amount of reps that he's gotten all year minimally, and Devon as well, everything that he does. So I think that we got some good options, and we just kind of continue to go.
How do you feel a little bit different starting the first game at home compared to the first game on the road?
That man sounds horrible.
Preparation wise,
talk.
the game plan wise, no. But I think it was just like I said before in the beginning, it was really cool to kind of be home in front of the fans and just have that opportunity. It obviously it means a lot, but just at the end of the day, we lost, so it hurts at the end. And like I said, we'll continue to keep building, and we'll get it done here at home. We got to protect our house.
You mentioned that a couple of times today about especially because it's the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn about the rivalry today?
Yeah. Just how important it is to the people of the city and how important it can be. And it makes you want to work that much harder and find that extra edge. But at the same day, you got to go back to execution and analytics. And that's why we lost. It wasn't anything other than that. And as far as some of those scenarios. So, we feel really good about going forward. We just got to get back to work, and there's a lot of ball left. Appreciate it.
All right, Tyler Shough, man, in this first Saints Atlanta battle, and it's a lot to talk. It's a lot to learn, man, with these quarterbacks, man, with these young guys. But got to be honest with you, he had better answers than his head coach did. That's for certain. He had better answers than the backup court. Well, I guess the Taysom Hill did. I don't know what Taysom was talking about. I don't know what. I think Taysom might have got too many upside his head or something. I don't know. He was just up there babbling. I don't know what he was talking about, Pops. But shout out to Pops in the building. Pops, you seen the matchup. 24-10. Saints didn't get one offensive touchdown in the game, man. The defense did get a return for a touchdown on the interception. Blake Grupe went 1 for 3 on field goals, and Kellen Moore is on the mic explaining. What are your thought process on what happened?
Well, they simply just did not execute. You can't. A lot of that you can't put on the coaches. The players are just not executing on what I mean on point. They're not executing on schedule. I mean, the ball gets out kind of slow. So when the receivers got to wait on the ball, that one pass that Cousins hit the little Atlanta player with was a thing of beauty. I mean, the long pass, the DB was trailing, the ball was put right there, touchdown. And that was the dagger. But when they get the ball in their hand, they either turning the damn thing over or they can't run. It's like this team has no heart. There's no heart. You got to be able to run the ball, and you can't just sit there and give the ball off and then don't fight. You got to be able to push that ball through that defensive line, and then you got to make something happen with the ball, and the guys got to protect the ball. You don't let the other team defense come and smack your offense in the face. This is what's been going on with these teams. They come in here and they've been smacking the Saints around, and we're getting losses as a result of it. I mean, we didn't, and I be honest with you, son. That field goal kicker, Groupie, he's horrible. He is horrible. We need to go find a kicker. Somebody at least can get 3 points on the board. That man is horrible as a kicker. He's hit with 3, he missed 3, hit 3. We don't want that. We don't need that inconsistency. And that's all we've been having is inconsistency at that position and the inconsistency at the offensive plays and the offensive line. They ran the ball pretty good with Neal when Neal got in there. But we don't have a running game. So how can we throw the ball if we don't have a running game? The running game is kind of miserable right now. And that's hard thing. And the Kamara's hurt again, isn't he?
That's correct.
So I mean, we got to find some people who wants to play. We got to find some fighters and warriors who want to go out there and battle for the team and battle for their pride and battle for. I mean, the playoff is out of the picture for them, but play for pride. Don't let our most hated rival, the Atlanta Falcons, come over here and punch you around, punch you in the face, kick you in the backside. And then you go out here with a big win. And a quarterback that's basically walking around on pop sticks. Can't scramble, he can't do much of anything, but he can throw the hell out of that ball if you allow him, give him an opportunity. You got to be careful. You got to watch your plays. You got to protect the guy next to you. You're supposed to be playing for him and yourself. You got your side of the field to cover and help him with his side of the field. But our guys, they allowing these long throws and, we don't throw the ball enough. We don't throw the ball long because it seems like our wide receivers can't get open. What is this? We can't get open. I'm looking at this score 24-10. We left too many points on the table, on the field. We left too many points. You can't have every time you get at least you can't run the ball. Try something else. Try a little play action pass or try some trickery. You know what? They got some plays that you can execute by throwing the ball. But you got to pull that. You got to be able to be willing to say, I want this touchdown. I'm going to get it. I want this touchdown, and I'm going to get this touchdown. If I can't run it in there, I'm going to pass and try to get it passing. But they kept on pounding the ball in the middle, and Atlanta was stuffing it. Just like the last team they played, I think they had a similar play. They were trying to power the ball in for a touchdown. And then the line blocked all that up. The other team's line, like Atlanta did, they stuffed them. They moved the ball down the field and can't score. Whose problem is that? You got to have an offensive offensive coach that's got some kind of imagination in his mind where how he can put his guys in the best position to score the ball. You're on a 1 yard line, 1st and 10. There's no way in the world you should be down to 4th down because you're trying the same power play up the middle. Sometimes you got to change it up because the teams are expecting you. Oh, I ain't got but a half a yard to do it. I'm gonna go down there and get it. Well, come on. That's not always the best way to go. Sometimes the route to even though it's in a straight line, but they shut the door on you, and they did that to the Saints constantly with those couple of plays where they had the ball on the 1 yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. They should have got that ball in the end zone, but they got to come up with. They got to be more imaginative because the offense is just too vanilla, and people are predicting. They're too vanilla and too predictable, and that's how come we losing the way we losing.
Yeah, it's trying to find answers to what's going on with this team is maddening. You mentioned Blake Groupie. We put his stats on the screen. Blake Group is 74% on the field goals right now. I mean, he's horrible, man. He's horrible. He was 1 for 3 today. And some of these, and remember, this is a controlled environment. No wind, no all the other stuff in it's dome. So that's for a professional kicker to miss that chip shot, 20+ yarder early on. It's just, it is horrible, man. And I think Kellen Moore mentioned something about evaluating the team and doing all this stuff, but I don't know if he'll keep it real on some of these evaluations, man. The evaluation at the top of the list, I give it to you in a second, which I think they really do. But you have to be honest in your assessment, your evaluation, if you really want to clean this stuff up. Shout out to Brent. He says, we saw some of them smiling and laughing on the bench. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, bro.
Picking me up, bringing me back to this
You're getting your ass kicked. You're getting your ass kicked, and then you're sitting on there. You got time to laugh on the sideline, and people pay their hard-earned money to come see you play, and then you go sit there when you're getting waxed, and then you go sit there and laughing on the sideline. Well, you'd be on the street that next Monday, buddy.
Well, he wouldn't be, Pops, if your coach is laughing and smiling too. So I mean, in the end, it's a big joke, and it's to be had on us. So they're not the butt of the jokes. Unfortunately, the supporters are, because what we're seeing here with the football team is, if he really wants to fix the issues that the Saints currently have, he has to be real about what he's looking at. I mean, the number one, Blake Group, and I said this a couple of weeks back, that they should have been trying out kickers. If Young Wei Koo could find his way in the street because he's not kicking good, who the hell is Blake Group? I mean, for real, there should have been kickers already in here. We have one on the practice squad, Charlie Smith.
Can't do no worse than what this guy's doing. You can't do no worse.
74% field goal percentage is what he's at. That is not good. But, like I said, the evaluations continue. The offensive play caller, which is Kellen Moore, looking at himself. Nussmeier's play calling as an offensive coordinator is questionable, at the very least. These calls are questionable. Whoever's running the practices, he's the one running the practices, and seeing these teams in practices and allowing them to get into the game is real questionable behavior. Cesar Ruiz, he got beat multiple times in this game. Being real on film is what I call it. You have to be real on film, and when you see repeat offenders and guys obviously not up to what we need them to be, you cannot sit here and ignore these guys and allow them to continue to fail. You have to be able to get these guys out of here. Blake Group needs to be a guy that we need to have tryouts for his position. I think he's doing a horrible job, and he should be considered replaced. He should be. You can't do no worse. It's other things going on too with the Saints, man, that they're looking at. But anytime you come into the dome after 2 weeks off from a bye, you have an extra week to prepare for Atlanta, and your offense produces no points. That is a punch in the face of Kellen Moore. He's the main one you put that on, because he's supposed to be tasked as this offensive guru type who can't even generate consistent offense. His offense is fumbly, stumbly. It's Three Stooges level at many times. They shoot each other in the foot. They're undisciplined. And it's just, the play calling is just questionable. The Taysom Hill package mixed in with the Tyler Shough stuff is real old. Limited usage of players, right? Getting people in positions to be successful. It's just, it's not cutting it.
No.
It's not cutting it at all.
No, it's not cutting it. And not only that, I mean, the team doesn't seem to have the respect of this coaching staff, because they go through these plays, no snap to it. What I mean by snap to it, crisp, execute the offensive plays crisply. Get the plays out in a hurry, get them out quickly. Don't sit back there and wait and get wagging, dragging around. Get rid of that ball. You're gonna take a sack. You'll end up taking a sack if you don't get rid of the ball. You have to get your offensive snaps. And one thing I admired Drew Brees when he was quarterback in the Saints, he didn't hold that ball like that. He knew where he was going. As soon as he got that snap, he knew where that ball was going. And I said we need an experienced veteran quarterback in here to teach these young quarterbacks how to play. You can't start a rookie. I mean, they've got very few rookies that actually, you know what I'm saying, son? That actually could start in the NFL. You know, and I don't understand that.
Well, I mean,
Go ahead.
yeah, this is true, Pops. I mean, what's up, Jay Black? Shout out to you, brother. Says, why did they abandon Neal at the goal line, Q? I mean, it's the play calling. You know, they decide to bring Taysom Hill in there. The Saints don't have a fullback. They don't have a consistent fullback that they use. This is Kellen Moore and Nussmeier's thought process. They don't utilize fullbacks. Or they'll have a tight end that plays the fullback position, but they can use him as a tight end. But that's this sort of thing. And as you can see, it's hurting them because they can't even punch shit in on 4th and goal or 3rd and short, whatever the case the scenario is. They can't even move the pile. That's not a matter of scheme. That's a matter of will. You have to have your team has to have the willpower in their mind to say, hey, man, we're going to get this and you can't stop us. It's as simple as that. And the Saints simply don't have that. That's what I was saying about the contamination of these players over the last 4 years of the Dennis Allen administration. Even some good players that we had was contaminated by this. There's no player-only meetings or guys getting on each other. There's this stuff that Justin Reed likes to talk about, like we're not going to point fingers because nobody wants to bear the brunt of the accountability monster. You know, nobody wants to be, put on Front Street. You know, Justin did good in this game. He got the pick for the pick 6 and took it down there. But he was out of position. He was in no man's land on a deep touchdown throw. So you give one, take one with Kool-Aid McKinstry. So, I mean, in the end, study as you will. I mean, the Saints is studying, and I don't see any radical improvement here. I don't see any change. And whether it be young people or veterans, I don't see a radical change insofar as what they're doing week to week. Like the Carolina game could be brought up as an aberration. You know, it's just something they did out of character because they obviously could not mass produce it. Not getting a touchdown at all in your building against, and then the energy level for the offense. I mean, it's just, I don't know if Kellen Moore understands how important. He really doesn't. Him and his staff doesn't really understand the importance. Regardless if these teams have a combined total of 5 or 6 wins, it doesn't matter. You have to beat that team. And if you lose into the Falcons, that's the fastest way to turn a great deal of the support base against you. You can't. That's like an Alabama supporter, the Crimson Tide people. You can't lose to Auburn. You know, if you're gonna be a bad team, you better, lose to somebody else, but you can't lose to Auburn. That's like with LSU. With Saints, you can't lose to the Falcons, especially in your building when you don't score an offensive touchdown. That's not going to work. Yeah, that was bad play calling by Kellen Moore. He gets these weird calls where he wants to put Taysom Hill in there, and it's just too predictable. It doesn't make any sense. And I've been talking against it. I'm like, listen, man, do something else. And he had a play where Taysom was the quarterback and trying to throw the ball. I'm like, Taysom Hill is not a quarterback, man. He's everything. He could be everything else, but he's not that guy. Don't pull Shough out of there for that. But he does what he wants to do with them big ass teeth. But at the end of the day, he ain't smiling today. The heat is firmly on him, man. Go ahead, Pops.
Yeah, and that's true. We see the result of it. I watched some of the plays. I was away, but I did have access to see most of the play of most of the game. And Atlanta basically did what they wanted to do to the Saints defense. They didn't stop them hardly at all. Especially they barely was able to slow Bijan Robinson down. You know, I mean, you have to have a consistent running game. You have to have a running game. Go out and find you some linemen or draft some linemen that can run block. You need the block to help. You need the run blockers so that your quarterback can have time to throw the ball. Because if you're running the ball well, the team's going to keep guys in the box to try to stop you from doing it. Well, that's going to open up your field, open up your passing game downfield. And Atlanta just took advantage of that. An experienced quarterback like Atlanta's quarterback, their old quarterback, that guy Cousins, that guy been doing that for years, and he could see weakness right off the bat. He went straight after that kid and put the ball right on the money. Wasn't nothing really the other guy could do. He was trailing him all the time. He run right past him, and there the ball was when he turned around, he got the ball. We got to figure this thing out. The coaching staff have to figure this thing out. The Who That Nation is not happy. No how that they're happy with this kind of play, and it's just not getting any better. You hear the same old excuses. It's almost like Dennis Allen never left. So I mean, something need to change.
Yeah, he's getting the Dennis Allen vibes, man. Because when they keep repeating the statements over and over again, they don't have any answers, and it's quite obvious what's going on. He don't have any answers to how to turn it around. Thank you. Brent says, then they talk about how many. He says, then they talk how many how. Let me say it's right. Then they talk how many how it means so much to the city, right? Yeah, there. He says, get bro Gregory to talk to him. All right, thank you, Brent. Appreciate it, bro.
Donations, gifts, more gifts, more.
The problem is you trying to talk with your shit and you don't know nothing instead of listening. Huh?
I'm listening.
Okay? No. I get $40,000, nigga, and I dare motherfucker to
Talk, boy.
All right, big ups to you, Brent.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, man. We you thank you, brother Gregory. Shout out Rusty Powell to brother Gregory. We damn sure needed that little laugh there, man. But yeah,
they had a whole week off. They was on their bye week. They should have came out firing.
Mm-hmm.
They should have came out throwing the ball, running as powerful. We need to go draft some powerful runner. Somebody who can run that damn ball. We need somebody to run the ball. And Kamara needs to go. He's not doing us any good. I mean, we'll come out better by maybe bringing in a guy off the street or drafting a guy that could take over that spot. He's working. He haven't helped the team at all. He runs a few times and then he's on the sideline. He gets hurt. It's time for him to go. Maybe he wants to get traded. I don't know. But yeah, I've had enough of him. I had enough of seeing how he played this game for the Saints.
Yeah, man, Pops, it's a lot of stuff that he has to improve upon, and especially his play calling is questionable, man. I mean, this thing with you getting Tyler Shough in there, and Tyler Shough showing a heap of potential, but you can't figure out a way to mix in. And like I've said before, this guy doesn't know the personnel of the team, fam. He doesn't know him like you know him, of course. And that's due to the fact that he hasn't been here that long. I mean, he doesn't know how to totally use Alvin. He doesn't know how to use Taysom in combination with each other. Like, he going to take this guy out, put that. You don't have to do all that, bro. You don't have to do that. You can have game plans where those guys are in at the same time. You don't have a bona fide second wide receiver. One of the family members said, Q, you mentioned using AK at wide receiver at time. Yeah. You can move Alvin out there at wide receiver. You can still have Devin Neal in the backfield. You can still have Taysom Hill lined up as a wide receiver along with Olave and Jawan Johnson. There's packages where you can put all of those guys on the field at the same time because their games all work with each other, and it'll provide a lot of matchup problems and a lot of options for your quarterback. But this guy doesn't do that. He does not know how to use these guys properly. And then on top of that, I've been saying this for weeks now. The man he drafted a 6'8" tight end that he refuses to play. The guy's 6'8". You have red zone issues, sir. Your team is one of the worst, if not the worst, red zone team in the entire NFL. Your team is 2-9. The Stall dude needs to go. All right. The Jake Stall, whatever his name is, he needs to go. You're on a 1-year deal anyway. He needs to go, and you need to open up and use Matavo. Let Matavo, he's 6'8". Tight end, and you have red zone issues. You were 0-3 in the red zone. You got a 6'8" tight end, bro. The guy actually can catch the ball. Now, he's kind of raw and all this stuff, but if you watch the footage on him in college, the guy is a very decent tight end. And you ain't drafting for nothing, play him. Let him play. The man does not know how to use his weapons correctly. And that's obvious. That's why he didn't have any answers. If you didn't have Elvin or Taysom, then you would have to try to figure out to manufacture offense through backup players and all this stuff. For the most of it, they've had their offensive pieces healthy, and they still haven't been able to put together or field an offense that's consistent. A lot of the offensive players have been healthy. So him saying they got to figure it out, man, that's getting old. And losing to the Falcons in the manner that they did will get old quick. It will get old very quick. You cannot lose to the Falcons and expect the support base to be on your side. That is a recipe for big disaster. So it is just one of those things, man, that we do. All right, let me hit the scores, fam. Let me give y'all a little bit of the scores right here, man. It was a fantastic sports weekend. A lot of really good boxing that occurred, man. I got a Ring King boxing report coming out, fam. Little cross promotion. I can't really say too much about the Pelicans. They losing. They on a 9-game losing streak. These Gail Benson run teams are really a disaster. But anyway, let's hit the scores, man, and get some of this going on for what happened so far in today in the NFL. The Bucks right now trailing to the Rams 14-0. The Bucks might be on the way to another loss. They have the ball and are marching at the end of the first quarter. The Steelers lost to the Bears. The Bears keep on winning. Caleb Williams was 19-35 for 239. He had 3 touchdowns. The Bears improved to 8-3 and 4-1. Shout out to the Bears, man. They've been a long time coming. They beat the Steelers, who were without Aaron Rodgers. Rudolph starting in his stead. The Patriots are back. Apparently, they are now 10 wins. They're 10-2 and perfect on the road, 6-0. They beat the Bengals, the banged up Bengals 26-20. The Giants had the Lions beat. The Lions come back and win in overtime 34-27. The Packers beat down the Vikings 23-6. And we look at the Seahawks game. Seahawks get their 8th win of the season. So how about that? All these former people that came from the Saints, whether it's Dennis Allen as the defensive coordinator of the Bears, or it's was Kubiak who's running the offense in Seattle land. Each one of these guys, family, are doing really well right now. Their defenses, Dennis Allen's defense is helping the Bears on that 8-win team right now, and Kubiak has 8 wins with the Seattle Seahawks team, and Sean Payton is also doing well with the Broncos. So how about all that going on? The Chiefs come back to beat the Colts 23-20. They get to 6-5. The Jets drop another one to the Ravens, who gets over 500 at 23-10. Boy, they battled all the way back. And of course, Shedeur Sanders. How about Shedeur Sanders, man? Made his first start against the Browns, and they won 24-10, beating the Raiders, man. Deion Sanders was watching them play. The Jaguars up top the Cardinals 27-24. The Cowboys come back and kicked the field goal kicker, kicked them into a win as they beat the Eagles 24-21. They improved to 505-5-1. They playing, it ain't perfect, but they're really playing with some intensity and all this kind of stuff. So you're making a ton of mistakes, but nonetheless, people want to try to win. And of course, you see the Falcons beating the Saints 24-10. Saints dropped to 2-9 and 1-5 at home. So it simply is what it is. Monday night game puts the Panthers at the 49ers, and we'll be interested. So this is what's going on right now around the league for today at the very least. So Pops, before we get ready to leave, man. All right, hold on. Let me get a couple of comments. Y'all throw a few questions in there, fam. On the back end, y'all do me a service, hit that like button too, fam. Appreciate y'all for being here. Late afternoon game, man. Much love to you guys. We appreciate you. Double salute to all the family members out there that's watching the show. Like button and the share button, please. If you're listening to us on X, retweet. Shout out to you guys. All right, Pops. Your thoughts on the Saints before we get into some of these questions and comments.
Well, I think the offense is not being executed properly. They're not reacting fast enough the plays they're running, they seem like they're running a little bit in quicksand. They got too many vanilla plays that teams have figured out. They know they're gonna get a running attack when they put Taysom Hill in there, so the teams play them for that. So Taysom becomes ineffective at some point in time, and some of the play calling has to improve. Otherwise, we're gonna continue to see these losses, and it's just gonna continue until we make a determination on how to execute. Execution is the biggest thing. The Falcons executed their plays. Inexperience at the quarterback position is hurting them also. I mean, you have to find somebody out there and somebody with some experience who don't have to take the reins of the team, but teach the young quarterback what he needs to learn. He's learning. I don't blame Tyler for this loss. I blame the loss on the offensive plays, offensive play calling. The guys are not executing properly, and they're not executing properly because they seem to be moving in slow motion. They don't. And teams are quick. The young teams are quick. Atlanta young defense, the secondary is real quick. You got to match quickness with quickness, and the Saints are not doing that.
Yeah, you're right, Pops. As the matching, that's a whole nother thing. Period. With the Saints, man, we're not there. Like I said, a lot of these guys, no disrespect to them, but maybe disrespect to them. I don't know. They do not strike me as guys that are, they have a winning temperament. I mean, you can't, you have to, you can't positive away a lot of this stuff. Some of this stuff you have to face down. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
Challenge that's the challenge. The challenge is it's a test your nature type of thing. And some of these things, I don't agree with the mindset of some of these players. It's just too weak and soft. That's why the team is 2-9. That's why they couldn't get in the goal line, because it's a willpower thing. And they lack that consistently. That is the intangibles, because a lot of these guys can run fast. Some of these guys can catch, so a lot of them are intelligent, but it takes more. It takes everything that you have to win, and they're not willing to commit that. For some of those players, I want them out of here. But we won't be able to find out all of who they are because the coach is not looking for that. He has to be real about what he's looking for. And I just don't see that he is. I don't think that he's really, truly knowing what he's looking at here. If he did, he would have better answers than the ones he repetitively spews out every week. Yeah. Or again, people saying, hey, man, Q, this dude sound like Dennis Allen. Yeah, he does, because he's saying the same stuff as Dennis Allen was saying. It's what most people say when they do not have answers. They just give a bunch of generalities and nothing specific. So we need answers, right? All right, Doug says, Miss Benson done messed up, plus all these years losing. I heard at the parade it was a lot of Falcons people on Bourbon Street. Yes, indeed, bro. They deserve it, man. Shout out to the Falcon people. They came in here, man, and they won the game. Now, can the Saints go at the end of the season in their building and beat them? Or will the Saints be subjected to a Falcon sweeping? How about that? Gundam says, Q, the routes our personnel runs, most of the routes are bunched up and clogging the lanes. It's a lot of stuff crossing into each other. It's a comeback, right? I seen one on tape, and I'll look at the tape for Patreon coming up this week. A lot of these 4 vertical, like 4 routes, comeback routes. These are these stupid East-West plays that they believe so much in. Now, I keep telling them this guy's a vertical quarterback. You got to stretch the defenses and throw the ball down the field. And it's just something else. Yeah, but it's comical. Pelicans Nola says Carolina fired coaches 3 years in a row. That's what the Saints need to do. Get them out of here. I don't think they'll fire him. Shout out to GM Kev. DM me, say fire Kellen. They're not going to fire Kellen Moore. They barely fired Dennis Allen, and he had to be forced out of there. That's who you got. And then for people who forgot, she threw all of her support behind Macon Loomis and said she's not firing Macon Loomis. So she already drew her line in the sand. Where's yours? She drawing lines in the sand, right? Should you? That's a question I ask you. Charisma says we're winning the Shough trade so far. They'll get that together, bro. Shough, they'll get that together. Nick, what said Jackson Smith and the Jigba? That dude's a absolute beast. It's only a matter of time before Shough fits right with that guy. It's actually a good compliment to him. KT says potential. What potential, Q? Shough was propaganda hyped by Louis Riddick. The Saints basically drafted a 6'5" Taysom Hill with worse pocket presence. His pocket presence ain't that bad to me, KT. And I think he's better quarterback than Taysom Hill. He does have an athletic ability. He's not as a physical runner as Taysom Hill, because Taysom's more running back to me than a quarterback. But there is stuff there you can work with. But remember, it takes scheme. If this is who the man wants his quarterback to be, then he would have to take the offense and wrap it around him. This is the thought process that you have. Do you draft a quarterback and force him into your system, or do you take a quarterback and wrap the system around him and what he does best? That's the philosophy difference in some of these coaches. What is he going to do?
Mm-hmm.
You see, what is he going to do? How is he going to do it? If he makes this offense Tyler Shough's offense, he'll have success. He will. But you got to clean up this stuff. You got to get better offensive linemen up front. You need a left guard. You need a right guard. You need a backup center. Or what Luke Fortner did well, maybe you earn him a contract, but a center of the future for McCoy, who can't be counted on because he keep getting hurt. 24 games, 20-something games in 4 years he's missed. You can't count on the man. Plus, he getting old, so you might want to we seen this with what's his name, Ryan Ramczyk. We might have to change the game. But I respect your opinion, KT. Clint says, why didn't Taysom line up right under center, taking a direct and stepping right? That's my criticism of it. It doesn't make any sense to me. If you need 1 yard, why is he 5 yards back to get 1 yard? That doesn't make any sense at all. And I've talked about that constantly. And this guy's supposed to be an offensive genius, but yet he keeps doing the same thing. Let him get up under center and allow that to happen. With him snapping the ball to Taysom to run, and they all know he's going to run, the defense is prepared for that. Why not have Taysom to get the 1 yard from up under the center if you're going to use him that way? So, I mean, I've asked that question, and I've seen that he keeps doing it. The guy, Kellen Moore, don't say it. He keeps doing the same stuff over and over again. I said, don't take Taysom, don't take Tyler Shough off the field. Allow Kellen leave Shough on the field and use Taysom with him. Make him a running back. Make him a wide receiver. But you could play them both at the same time. That's all I was saying. So your guess is as good as mine. Pops, you want to answer some of these, man?
Well, if their mindset is stuck on just being simple, trying to be simple, run simplistic plays, we're going to have more losses like this. They have the reason that they're not doing the plays is because maybe it's not in there. They don't believe that it's going to be effective for them. It does seem to me that if you're going to have him do the dive, give him the ball right there on the center, and then let the offensive line push him into the end zone and help him get in there. But if you go 5 yards back, well, that gives the defense time to react, and which exactly what happened. They never did get to, and every single time they were stopped.
Every time and it is so predictable, it's ridiculous. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
It's ridiculous when Taysom Hill comes out there. I mean, if you're going to employ him, you can use him like a blocking fullback and handle him the ball. I've seen them do that. They had Elvin or a running back there. We don't have a short yardage back like we use Taysom in that capacity. I would ask the Saints to see if they could find a really good, a nasty blocking fullback, tight end type player to add that to the game. We really need to find road graders at the guard positions.
Yeah.
Coming up in where the true free agency, the Saints will be like $12 to $13 million in the red for next year. So once they'll rework contracts of Chase Young and Carl Granderson and Elvin Kamara, and it's like 4 or 5 Saints that have double-digit contracts. And Mickey Loomis, we will rework those contracts and free up money, but will you use that money to address offensive line issues? How would you go? And the reason why I want that is we need help at wide receiver. They traded for Jalen Polk, so he'll play a factor in there some kind of way. Jalen Polk was a 2nd-round draft pick wide receiver. The Saints gave up a 6th-round pick to get, and he was hurt. He'll be healthy next year. So the guy can play. He ain't got all the speed in the world, but he catches the ball really well. So he'll play a part. Divine Valley the word's still out on him. Mason Tipton is a solid reserve wide receiver, right? But if you want game changes, that's something that we can't accrue all of those. And maybe we can in the same draft. But at the end of the day, I would look at maybe you can get some of that help in the draft. You might need to spend a few bucks on some offensive guards, role graders to help run the football or take the pressure off the quarterback, this sort of thing. And it's just ridiculous. It's a lot of stuff, but will they do it? I have absolutely no idea, because God knows they're not going to be, there's no pressure from Mickey Loomis to do anything, or Gail Benson. These people are totally inept and disconnected from reality. Gundam says, Q question, will you call a boycott? Well, I've been boycotting the Saints for a while. That's why I hadn't been going to the games. It's been, years now? It's been since Dennis Allen was there. When they did all that, I boycotted. It's been, I think about 5 years now I've been boycotting the Saints. That's why I don't go down there. I don't go to the games. And I started boycotting the Pelicans 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago, until they got rid of Willie Green. Yeah, but that's why I don't go down there. But it's up to you. It's up to the support base, man, to make that up, to go there. I can boycott. And that's how we got rid of them, to get Dennis Allen out of here. I asked the Who Dat Nation to not give them any more money. They didn't like that, by the way. I know people up there, and they didn't like the fact that a lot of the supporters were calling for them to stop, but they don't want to fix it. They got one of these weird mentalities, is just let us make our money, win, lose, or draw. It don't work like that. You're not going to bank like that, and the team is underperforming. It's not going to work. But some people going to go and some people are not. So it's up to them, bro. But I've been boycotting, bro, for about 5 years now, at least 5 years. So I don't know if you guys know that. All right. Edmundo says Kellen Moore is not a coach. You mean not a head coach, huh? Edmundo? Yeah. Shout out to you, brother. All right. He says, Duke says, put Guy under center. What Guy, bro? Duke says head coach Moore did that earlier this season with Rattler, took him out. He continues to do that. He continues to be one-dimensional with these plays. I do not like you. He did that to Spencer Rattler too. So it wasn't something that he was just doing to Tyler Shough, indiscriminately. He was doing that. Soon as Taysom got the word to come back, he pulled Spencer Rattler out of there. He pulled Tyler Shough out of there. And I just think that's really stupid to do that when you don't have to pull him out of the game to utilize him. You can have both their athleticism on the field at the same time, posing problems for the defense. And the guy is wholly inept in getting all of those pieces on the field. And will he get better? I don't know. I don't trust what he's doing. I really don't. He has not shown me enough to say, oh, you got a handle on it. The guy does, and we're 12 weeks in, the team is 2-9, 1-5 in the dome. And you still talking about evaluating whether or not to evaluate the kicker who's kicking 74% on the year? Really? And the offensive guard and Cesar Ruiz, who gets blown by consistently, he's a swinging door. So, I mean, I tend to take you as a joke when you do that, and the team a joke when the players don't call for players only meetings. They just stand up there and try to protect themselves to allow themselves to be losers. And Reed will get up there and say, we don't want finger pointers, because the finger be coming at him. So this is the stuff we deal with here. Pop's final words before we go, bro.
Time for the Coach Moore to either put up or get the hell out the way and let somebody come in here and take these guys and force them to act like men, act like professionals. They're just going through the motions. There's a couple of them that are alpha dogs on the team, but the alpha dog not going to continue to work if you got some other guy that's barely doing anything or don't understand the plays. The offensive line sucks, and the quarterbacks can't develop if they're working behind a suspect offensive line. So we do need to get the guys out of there that's not doing what they're supposed to do and not helping this team win. Those guys got to go. They got to sit them on the sideline, sit them over there on the bench, let them sit on the bench a while, and watch how the line play develops. because we need consistency off that offensive line in order to run the ball, and we also need consistency so that we can pass protect so those young quarterbacks can do their job and get that ball downfield. As long as you're not getting the ball downfield, they're gonna jam up in the box, and they're gonna try to beat you with the blitz, and they're not gonna respect your passing game. You have to make them respect your passing game.
True game, true talk. That's all true, man. And another loss. So this one it really hurts pretty good because we lost to the Falcons. The Falcons are still in it. We had an opportunity to beat the Falcons down. But anytime you let the Falcons win in your building and they talk smack. And then the crazy part about it is, fam, is that the Pelicans played the Atlanta Hawks, the basketball team, the NBA team, on Saturday and lost badly. Sunday, the Saints play the Atlanta Falcons, the football team, and lost badly. So it was just an Atlanta winning weekend in the city of New Orleans. So they feeling really good about themselves. And it's thanks a lot to what we've seen with how the Saints have been behaving. So it is just one of those situations that I don't know, man.
And speaking of the Pelicans, I listened to the game last night, watched some of the game on television as well. And they turning the ball over at a disgustingly fast clip. I mean, what is it? I mean, you don't have to turn the ball over that much to get your plays executed. They're passing slow. They're not protecting the passing lanes. In other words, they lose a lot of balls just on tip. They don't rebound well. So you're gonna always be in a hole. You're always gonna lose. I don't know if some of these guys don't know how to rebound. You got to go after that ball. You got one or two. I saw it a couple of times. The guy takes a shot. All the other players out on the perimeter are heading back up court. Pelicans guys head back up court to the other side, but defense guy goes in there and gets a rebound, come all the way down. Then they split like a big tall pine tree and let the guy roll right in for an easy layup. So I mean, this kind of stuff has to stop if you expect to win. You got to teach your kids the guys got to be taught how it feels to win. They don't know how that feels to have put a winning product on the field. They don't understand that on the court. They need to feel that, and they need to be taught how to do it. The turnovers, like I've watched Alvarado throw the ball away a couple of times. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? You're supposed to be the point guard. Your number one job is to control them turnovers and then get them to the boys who can score. If you turning the ball over, that don't make no difference. Then you're letting the other team blitz all the way down there for easy layups or dunks. Then we fall behind early. I mean early. And so when you put yourself in a hole, you can't catch up.
Yeah, it just goes to show you, man, both of these teams are Gail Benson ran teams. And pro sports for the city of New Orleans is in tough straits right now. And it appears to be that way for a while. All right, shout out to you, Brent. Thank you for the super chat. Sledgehammer. All right, Sledgehammer. Here you go for brother Brent, man. Sledgehammer. Look. All right. And with that being said, man, we're going to get on up out of here, man, and we're going to holler at y'all on the next one. Appreciate y'all. Much love, peace, and who that tell you.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. Thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you can probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thewhodatdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thewhodatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation. Stay in the NO, you stay in the know.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below, or